All right, now we officially begin Gingerbread Build at Home 2025. Thank you everyone for participating in the 13th annual Gingerbread Build event with this online award ceremony. I'm Megan McDonough, Pioneer Valley Habitat for Humanity's Executive Director and a longtime fan of the Gingerbread Build. Photos of interesting, inventive endeavors have been pouring in over the past few days, and I hope you are able to look at them all through our Facebook album and see that the link in that chat. And Jess, if you can throw the link in the chat for that, that would be great. And then people can see it and know where to find it. I know you're all eagerly anticipating the announcement of this year's winners, and as am I. And I'm as much in the dark as you are, and we'll get to that in just a moment. This event is an important component to Pioneer Valley Habitat's fundraising efforts, and I'd like to acknowledge the many individuals, banks, and businesses that stepped forward this year to give the event a strong financial foundation. You can see them here on your screen, and please consider supporting them with your business and thanking them when you see them. We are so lucky to live and work among such generous civic partners. So, in River Valley Co-op, I've got to mention them because they're the people who actually made the gingerbread for us and helped let us distribute them at their location in East Hampton. There's also People's Bank, Legacy Counselors, Wright Builders, Bank ESB, DeLapp Real Estate, Dietz and Company Architects, Freedom Credit Union, UMass 5 College Credit Union, Integrity Development and Construction, Kiter Corporation, Broadside Books, Coles Building Supplies, Kuhn Riddle Architects, and Valley Housing Consultants. It's a real who's who of construction around here. They know things about building. We're grateful to the Northampton Arts Council for their generous donation of First Night buttons, UMass Hospitality Services for laboring over hot ovens to provide 240 ginger people for this year's teams, and Collective Copies of Florence for their discount towards marketing materials. A big round of applause for all of them. Thank you. I know it's not a very loud applause, but it's good. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Habitat experience, the reason we're all here. I've been talking a lot about wonderful supporters of this event, and we want to share the people behind all of that. Two future homeowners are busy building their future homes in Greenfield and Northampton alongside dozens of community volunteers. Some of you on the call today have been on a Habitat work site, and you've measured twice and cut once and hammered and painted alongside the person or people who will purchase the home when it's finished. And maybe you were one of the lucky ones who worked on a not too hot, sunny summer day, or maybe you were one of the hardcore helpers who toughed out a cold, snowy shift. Whether you've been on a Habitat work site or at your own tabletop work site creating a mini architectural masterpiece, you are supporting the building of real homes for real families right here in the Valley. You are building strength, stability, and self-reliance alongside families with low incomes who are who already crossed the threshold into the first to being first-time home buyers. Thank you. The need is great, and your support is critical. And together we build a resilient world. And now the moment we have all been waiting for. Well, before the ceremony began, three of our celebrity judges poured over the photos that you sent, and then for the last hour met to deliberate and finalize their collective decisions on winners in each of this year's categories. Two of our judges are unable to be with us for this award ceremony, but we'd like you to tell you a little bit about each of them and thank them for their time. Well, one of them, not two of them. Sorry, my misspoke there.
Actually,
Peter
I think
Jessup is
everyone's
a.
joined. We have everybody here now.
Oh, great. All right, wonderful. Even better. So, Peter Jessup is a retired design builder and founder of Integrity Development and Construction. His busy retirement has included coming out of retirement to help nonprofit organizations that he loves, biking and hiking. He is a former Pioneer Valley Habitat board member and president, and has both a discerning eye and his unique sense of humor to many a gingerbread build bench. Welcome back, Peter. Peter will be announcing the awards on behalf of his fellow judges. And then I probably don't need to tell you that Jim Olson, our next judge, has unleashed his creative genius on the Valley scene for years as the co-creator of Signature Sounds record label, the founder and director of the Green River and Back Porch Festivals, and host of the Sunday morning Back Porch Show on local radio station WRSI The River. Jim, too, is a veteran gingerbread build judge, and we're glad he's back. Our third judge, Matt Sunderland, has been having fun with food for nearly 40 years and is now the head of prepared foods for the River Valley Co-op. Matt comes to us by way of the Culinary Institute of America and has been a personal chef, a sous chef, and an executive chef. After being the creative director and implementer of fun, interesting cuisines in a variety of settings, Matt will now add to his resume the weighty experience of gingerbread house evaluation. We welcome first-time Judge Matt's discriminating sensibilities to this austere panel. Thank you, Matt. And thank you to all the judges. Let's get right into announcing the winners. I will hand it over to Peter to share with us their binding decisions. We will do our best to show each winning entry as they are announced. Take it away, Peter.
Great. Thank you, Megan. Yes, I'm Peter Jessup from Sunderland, not to be confused with Matt Sunderland from East Hampton. If we could just blend that all into the whole mix. So we deliberated. We've been looking at things over the last 48 hours, most of the judges, and we deliberated for a couple of hours earlier this morning. Some lively conversation, but quite a lot of agreement actually on what we thought. So I'm going to go through the categories one by one. Jess, I'm not sure if you're going to put them up on the screen as we do that, but we're going to start with most creative use of color, one or many. And our selection there was the Ginger House Lab with their beautiful, particularly their beautiful use of light coming from their house, along with the subtle uses of color on the site itself. So we just love the way the light comes out of the house in different shades of green and yellow, and we love the subtle colors of the gardens and the walkways. So congratulations to Ginger House Lab for their award of most creative use of color. And I'll say Matt or Jim, if you wanna jump in, just I'll leave a little pause after each award. If you feel like you want to add something about your views on it, feel free to do that. Okay.
Yeah, I just thought that the pastel colors and the lights coming through were pretty striking. It was that's a very, very nice job done on that one.
Great. All right. The second category was a tribute to Jimmy Carter. And our selection there was once again, DeLapp has won an award in the gingerbread build, an unusual occurrence since they've won an award probably 8 of the last 10 years. But congratulations to the DeLapp team too, for DeLapp team for their tribute to Jimmy Carter. We were particularly impressed at the details of the home building, but more than that, we really enjoyed seeing the Jimmy Carter and Rosalind Carter portrayed in their trademark overalls with their mini tool belts on their waist, and felt that that was a real tribute to the kind of person that Jimmy Carter was in leading work camps for so many years for Habitat. And we love the fact that there were other workers busy on the site and that everyone was there ready to go to work and there were homes under construction. It's quite a lovely piece, and we extend our congratulations to DeLapp Real Estate for their entry.
It was a great one, like you said, great detail, and love that they worked the peanuts in there.
Yeah, that's I was going to comment on the wheelbarrow full of peanuts. That's a nice touch.
Again, congratulations to DeLapp Real Estate. The third category was the most scientific. And while many entries did not pay too much attention to this, we were able to focus on one that we felt that did, and that was the Frankenstein entry that was from Goldenrod Gang. I mean, not that Frankenstein is really true science. I don't want any of the youngsters out there to think that Frankenstein is something that we ought to be considered as real science. But we really liked the way they did the stormy ocean with the lightning and in the photo, and then had the lightning coming down to Frankenstein. So it was a little unusual to put this in the science category, but we didn't have a lot of entries that tended in that direction. So congratulations to the Goldenrod gang for Frankenstein.
Yeah, this one was a lot of fun. Yeah, I definitely I didn't catch that the lightning going down and hitting Frankenstein until just now when you said that. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, very timely with the new movie.
All right, then the next category is wildest habitat for critters. And our selection here was the entry by the Cat Girls. And one thing, what we liked about this were the many different places that wild animals could hide among the mushrooms and in the shrubbery outside the house. And we particularly liked, I think, the little nooks and crannies that wild critters could make their homes around this particular build. And like the detail of the plantings and the landscaping was done at a very high level. So congratulations to Cat Girls for their award as the wildest habitat for critters.
Good work.
Yeah, this one's amazing. The details is really cool on this. Nice job.
The fanciest fairy tale cottage was not particularly challenging for us. It was fairly easy for us to all agree that the Human Resources Department over there at People's Bank were the winners with I don't think they titled I don't think they titled their entry, but we love the fact that while the cottage itself was fairly modest, it almost had it took on a castle-like effect, given the turrets around the castle and the moat, the turrets around the house and the moat, and it had a very whimsical effect, even though the cottage itself was fairly modest. So we really enjoyed seeing the moat and the castle-like effect for this fairy tale cottage. So congratulations to People's Bank, their human resources division.
Nicely done.
Yeah, very well done. It's very cool.
And the award for most original building materials was an interesting category because the one that we picked, we were a little uncertain about some of the materials, but nonetheless, we considered it to be the most original building materials, and that goes to Edible Realty for their for their cottage, which has gingerbread in it someplace, but it I don't know, it looked to us like maybe that's French fries on the roof. We couldn't really tell, but we thought that was quite innovative. And it looks like maybe there's shaved almonds for siding. And anyway, it had some unusual, I think that might be shredded coconut for a little bit of snow, but had some unusual materials in it. And we're pleased to present the award to Edible Realty for most original building materials.
Super unique. Gotta know if those are actually French fries.
I hope there'll be a report from Edible Realty after they get their award. Amy,
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it to you and Jess to research that for us. And the last category that was there for Habitat was best homage to the valley we live in. And that award was a little tricky because there were two contenders, but in the end we ended up settling on Gingerly KR, uh, their view of a tobacco barn. And one of the things we liked about this was it's quintessentially valley. You can drive you can drive all over the valley, mostly in the lower elevations, obviously, but you can still see tobacco barns, which is a part of our legacy here in the valley. There is obviously still tobacco grown here, but we liked some of the detail on this, the pond and the tractor coming up. But then if you notice closely, there's actually tobacco hanging in the barn. Very cool in the detail that was in this. Very well done. And it looks like they used a pretzel siding, which kind of mimics barn board. And the roof has the roof has a little waviness to it that many of these old tobacco barns have. So congratulations to Gingerly K-rated for their portrayal of a classic New England tobacco barn.
That was just a beautiful house and scene altogether. Really nicely done.
Yeah, the detail on this is cool. I'm pretty sure that's popcorn. And again, the detail inside was pretty unique and cool.
Great. And then finally, Megan, if I can finish up with the judges' awards. Every year, each judge is allowed to pick one of their favorites. Now, in a couple of cases, their favorites were named as a category winner, but we've all settled on a different one. So I think I'll start and then I'll turn it over to Matt and then finish up with Jim. So my award went to Preston's team for their portrayal of a cottage by the train tracks. And what I really liked about this was the sense of movement. I was really taken with the train coming out of the tunnel, going around the house, and they put a lot of effort into making the hillside that the train goes through. And I just really enjoyed this, and my congratulations to Preston's team. So now I'll turn it over to Matt for you to talk about yours.
All right, so I picked Clark and Ginger. No, that was Jim's. There, no.
All right, maybe Jim goes next and then Matt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go
That'd be
ahead.
great. Jim, why don't you go and then we'll finish.
I chose the Emerald home there. I'm sorry I lost the screen with the
There it
name
is.
of the contestant on there, but the beautiful Emerald house with Emerald property, really nicely proportioned and just enough contrast to make the whole thing pop. I thought it was just a really beautifully done house.
I think we agreed with that as well. Um, Matt, then we'll finish up with you if we've got that order.
All right, so Clark and Ginger.
There we go.
Excellent. All right. So I chose this one. I thought this one sort of represented, I mean, it's super creative. There's a lot of color, and it's really fun and whimsical, and it represents family fun, which I think is, getting kids involved in this is just is really important and just shows a lot of fun, and they did a great job too. So that's why I chose this one. All of them were great. It was really hard to pick. It was amazingly hard to pick. Like any category was like they were all so good. So just had to say that.
So again, our congratulations. Um, our congratulations to all of the entries. It was so great to see so much creativity on the scene, and we congratulate all of the winners and look forward to hearing about how the fundraising went. So I think at this point, either back to you, Amy, or to Megan. And
Yeah.
thank you for asking us all to be judges.
Thank you guys for doing the judging. This is a really a remarkable set of creative, inspirational entries here this year. But I'm also very inspired by the fundraising that has happened to help build people real world homes. This year, two generous gingerbread build friends challenged teams to raise more money by offering a match, dollar for dollar, up to 6,000 for the collectively raised funds. And we have some good news. You did it abundantly. And in addition to dreaming up your gingerbread houses and assembling them, a number of participants raised additional funds to support Habitat's real-world home building efforts. And together you more than matched our anonymous donors offer. Team fundraising, including the match, totaled $15,140. Thank you to everyone who engaged in fun and innovative fundraising activities and for going the extra mile. The deadline for submitting your funds for a fundraising award was yesterday at noon, and the award for the team that had the greatest number of donations as of noon yesterday goes to Charlie's Angels. Congratulations. And the award that for the team that raised the most money goes to CBA Architects with a whopping $2,809 raised. Thank you to Charlie and friends and CBA Architects for your determined fundraising efforts on Habitat's behalf. And look at the things they created too. They, this is
Yes, we
very
were very
impressive.
impressed by the detail there, and congratulations to CBA on their unbelievable fundraising efforts.
And
So
go back to Charlie's Angels for a minute too. I want to see that one again. All right. And we also bringing in some political messages. Truth through art, people say get to express themselves. So everyone's effort together, from sponsors to team registrations to extra fundraising, have brought in a grand total of $28,490 to date for the 13th annual Gingerbread Build.
Well
This is
done.
Yeah, this is real money that's going to help build real houses with real families right here in Franklin and Hampshire counties. And if you'd like to see that number go higher, you can always make another donation. Jess will try and throw that link in the chat here. And so a big round of applause for everyone who participated. We couldn't have done this without you. It was a great team effort. We'll be in touch with all the winners. Amy's going to wave her hand. She'll probably be calling you to get your certificates and prizes. All the winning teams will receive 4 buttons for First Night Northampton. And that brings us to the end of the 2025 Gingerbread Build Award ceremony, but certainly not the end of Habitat's work to increase opportunities for affordable homeownership for all families in Hampshire and Franklin counties. We're finishing the Greenfield home in the coming months, and we'll continue to build our another home on West Hampton Road in Northampton throughout this winter. Be on the lookout for groundbreaking on our next project in the spring. We hope you might come out and swing a hammer, or maybe you'd like to help out by bringing hot coffee or some cookies. I know you guys are good at this. I've seen these pictures here. Are supporting joining a committee. There's lots of ways to get involved with Habitat, and we welcome your participation. Sign up for an orientation or a volunteer shift, or reach out to talk about how the best way for you to get involved. All of us at Pioneer Valley Habitat wish you and your family peace and good health for this holiday season. Thank you for all that you do. All right, I'm gonna click end on the recording here. Thank you all.